98.5 FM. Now let's have some fun. Here is your host, Johnny Radio. Johnny Radio.
Yo, welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Hump Day. I'm telling you, it is the most beautiful day of the year. I said that about yesterday, and I wasn't lying. But I'm saying today's even prettier than it was yesterday. The weather is beautiful. The Memphis Tigers are back in action. And I'll tell you, there's a little something that I'm grateful I didn't do it. But first thing I noticed last night, playing a little basketball. Watched a lot of basketball. Me and Dacus are going to talk a lot about some college basketball. I'll tell you that first 11 minutes of the Missouri-Tennessee game, they had just got to 20 points. It took them, I think it was 8 minutes to score 16 points in that game. I'm talking about combined. Crazy basketball. We got tons of college basketball. We got Tigers in action tonight. But when I when I was watching all these games last night, when they dropped the Memphis Tiger line and they're a 5.5 point favorite.
How about that?
My first initial reaction was, damn, I need to jump all over Charlotte and take them points. I didn't do it because, damn, I really don't have a clue. We'll talk a little bit about the Tigers today. Who's going to show up? Penny did say, if you listen to him this week, the guys who want to be there, who want to play basketball, who actually give a damn, those are the guys who are going to play. Does that disqualify Javon Quinterly?
I guess we'll see tonight.
Does it disqualify the way Jaquan Walton, he didn't have any, last game, he didn't look like he wanted to be there. There's a few guys who didn't look like they want to be there. I guess it's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk a little Tigers. We'll talk about Charlotte. I'm sure Bryant Dacus can help me out, and then therefore help you out, because I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten to where I've watched a lot of South Florida. I've watched a lot of these teams in the American. Charlotte is a team that I watch like Temple. Very, 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 very few times. Like very little basketball. So I don't honestly know a whole lot about them. I've checked out, of course, like team covers and Pickwise and winners and whiners and read about them and checked out their little rankings. So I can give you those type of basically, well, you can read them yourself, but you can hear them from me. But Dacus, I'm sure you have watched Charlotte because for some reason you love Biff Poggi's football team and their basketball head coach, who I have no idea his name.
John, I'm a closeted Charlotte fan, which my girlfriend would tell you I'm a closeted everybody fan. But I really like the Charlotte program. All of their athletic department. They're a great baseball team. Their baseball team won like 26-0 yesterday.
Are you being serious? You know that their baseball team won 26-0 yesterday? That is impressive. You are dude.
I am. I'm a closeted Charlotte fan. I'm also a closeted Georgia Tech fan. But no, I like the Charlotte team. They really did a good job with the transfer portal. Have added a couple guys. One guy came from Virginia Tech. One guy came from Virginia Tech, Virginia. I can't remember. Another guy came from Washington State that has played really, really well. Their point guard, who's really their leader right now, he's been around for a couple years. A guy that came over as a transfer a couple years ago, but he's been there. This is either his second or third year with the program. Like you mentioned, they have an interim head coach that, because their coach left and went on staff somewhere else, like right before the season started. So they just had to throw an interim in there. And this interim coach has been doing a heck of a job. I mean, he's done an unbelievable job. And I think a lot of that has to do with the veteran leadership they have on their team from this point guard, from some of the other guys they have on this team. And they've just been playing really well and have been really, really competitive in conference play. I think
they're
right
second
now,
in the American right now. They are only one game behind South Florida for first place. I mean, it's insane. South Florida and Charlotte are atop the American. And again, there's a lot of talk about South Florida. How come Charlotte doesn't get nearly the love that South Florida's been getting, especially from like ESPN Game Day and the the 4-letter networks?
Because I think what USF is doing is a little different just because they've gone on this long win streak. They're on this super long win streak. I think they're like 6th in the country on longest active win streak. Their coach is like a very outgoing.
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like super outgoing. And that when these media companies are looking at these smaller programs to focus, they're going to focus on coaches that are likable and that they can market. And Charlotte's coach, being an interim, just getting that tag off of him, nobody really knows much about him right now, and so I think that's part of it. And they really just – Charlotte just plays like a good brand of basketball. And they played it last year because this guy was an assistant coach under their coach last year. I don't know if I ever told you because I don't remember when I started producing for you, so I don't know if it was last year during basketball. I watched so much Charlotte basketball last year when they were in Conference USA because I loved the brand of basketball they were playing. They had this big man, Ali Khalifa, who if you watched the Baylor-BYU game last night, went off. He's now at BYU. I prayed.
Dude
and
shoots
prayed
3-pointers like it's
and
going out of style,
prayed.
by the way.
Yes, I told Dave Voloshin last year, this past offseason, that I thought Ali Khalifa was the closest collegiate comparison to Nikola Jokic because he can stretch it out for three. He's unbelievable passing the ball. He can score. He can bang down low. Just a really good player.
Though, I will say the one thing, and I can see where you're comparing. I could say in the college game.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm not saying in
he's not going to be the Joker.
If you're just looking at like college basketball, especially mid-major college basketball that he was playing last year at Charlotte, I mean, he is a very close comparison.
He had 7 assists, 7 rebounds last night, 14 points. Was burying threes. BYU, by the way, if you didn't know, dropped Baylor 78-71. I thought that was a great game. But I didn't know that this guy came from Charlotte.
And I wanted Memphis to get him. He's had a tough time adapting to the style that BYU plays because they play much faster than Charlotte plays. But I say all of that because the style that they ran last year is very similar to the style they're running this year. And it's just a really good brand of basketball. They win it the right way. They're not like USF kind of gets up and down the court. They shoot a lot of threes. They're right now making a ton of threes and just are kind of playing a more fun style of basketball than Charlotte's playing, but both are turning into wins, and both are really fun teams to watch.
Well, we get to watch a little Charlotte, little Tiger action tonight again. Right now, Memphis currently shocking 5.5-point favorite, but I do kind of understand because I was looking over this morning basically at what Charlotte's done lately. Now, they have had a stretch just like Memphis had when they were winning a little basketball game. Well, they lost a couple of them, but I mean, they played their last 3 games: Temple, Texas San Antonio, and Wichita State. Now, yes, they are second. They beat UAB this year. They've took care of Tulane. They beat FAU way back early. I swear, that was still in December.
It was the first week of January.
January
6th.
Just right when they started conference play or something like that. Yeah, that might have been their first game in conference.
Second. They had 2 back-to-back, like a Tuesday, Saturday to start the year. And yeah, but that started their win streak.
I just remember that was so long ago, and I remember going to just thinking to myself, like, damn, South Florida. I remember when that happened, thinking to myself, yes, they've already stumped their toe. Mm-hmm. Tigers are going to run away with this.
Yep. I remember a lot of people saying that early in conference play for Florida Atlantic because Florida Atlantic only dropped like 1 or 2 games early. They only dropped 1 conference game early, but they were like in a war. Like East Carolina was leading them at half. Tulane was like a super close game. Like they were playing a bunch of like really uneasy games for them early in the season. Everyone was saying, "Oh man, look, FAU is not the team that they were. Memphis is going to roll in this conference."
Yeah, that's high, man. Whew, if I could go back to feeling like that again, we could do this all over. That'd be nice. But the Tigers do have an opportunity to get back in the win columns. They got Charlotte tonight, 7 o'clock. We're going to talk a lot of college basketball. We'll talk a little about the Tigers. Hit us up at 901-360-8255. Let us know what you think about the Tigers and this Charlotte game. We'll give our picks at the end of the show. We also have to talk about the college football playoff committee unanimously. They approved, a little 5-7 model for the new 12-team playoff. And I was listening to this morning to a couple of the shows, and I realized a lot of people I don't think they're getting it and don't understand it. And I wanted to bring this up here a little bit earlier and discuss this because some said that this is going to force Notre Dame. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain it real quick. You know, next year that instead of there's not going to be 4 teams, there's going to be 12 teams. The top 4 teams in the country who win the conferences, it's actually the top 5 of them get it. But I'll explain really quick what I mean by this. So the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10, those conference champs will get a 1 through 4 seed. The highest ranked conference champs are going to get it's the top 5 highest ranked conference champs. That's what I'm saying. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that means it's going to be the ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10, because those are going to be, each champ is going to be the highest ranked conference champ. And then the group of 5 is, I guess that's what we still call it, even though it's changing every so fast. They're going to get an automatic bid in the top 5. But the only buys go to the top 4. And people are saying, well, Notre Dame could never, because they won't be a conference champ, get that first round bye. They already get a bye because they don't play in a conference championship game. Like, their schedule has a built-in bye. Like, do y'all understand? Like, do you realize that? Notre Dame, all they have to do is go out and have a really good regular season, be in the top 12, which usually they will be, especially because their schedule has gotten so soft. And guess what? They will get in the playoff. Now, will they have to play in the first round of the playoffs? Yes, but they will already come in having one less game. So understand that this is not hindering Notre Dame's chance to get a national championship in any way, because they can't be a conference champ, and that will not push Notre Dame, by the way, to join a conference. There's only one thing that's going to push Notre Dame to join a conference, and that's if teams from the Power 4 now, the ACC, the Big 10, the SEC, and the Big 12, stop scheduling Notre Dame. That's the only thing that's going to force them. They have their NBC money coming in. The 12-team playoff, there are 7 at-large bids. Do you realize that? Only 5 spots are guaranteed. The top 5 spots, again, go to the conference champs with the highest ranking. 7 are left over. You don't think Notre Dame's going to be up there with all their buying power? And then I just went ahead and wanted to look this up to make sure I'm not crazy, but Notre Dame, we used to talk about that scheduling. Man, their schedule, it's really, really tough. No, it really is not. If you look at next year's scheduling for the Notre Dame football, it is not even close.